Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Guys, today I want to make some bread. And this is an easy recipe. Anybody can do it. And I'm also going to make a cake, but the cake I'm going to make it easy because the bread's going to take the longest time. So the cake is going to be a box. So this is one video, two recipes. So for the bread, I'm going to use quick rice yeast. This is one bread that it takes like 6 to 8 hours to proof, but we're going to rush it. I'm going to make it proof faster. Hopefully that'll work. And if it doesn't work, I'm still going to show you either my success or my failure. All right? Because that's what we do in Deborah Cabasta Home Living. I show you if rushing it works or not. So let's get started. We are going to need all-purpose flour, which I got here. All-purpose flour. We're going to need a liquid measuring cup. We're going to need yeast. We're going to need a two teaspoons of salt, but I think I want to cut the salt to 1.5 teaspoons, and 1 teaspoon of yeast, and I want to add some honey. All right, so I want to add some honey. I'm going to add why my honey, what, I don't know, my honey is like sticky here. I don't know why. So let me clean this up. Woo, child. Look at that. This is what happened, and I am not going to edit that out. My poor dog almost run away and leave her soul stuck on the floor. Oh, my shadow almost had a heart attack. Oh Lord, that was funny. All right, guys, I'll be right back. Let me clean that out. All right, guys. So here is my bowl that I'm going to be using. I believe you guys can see from there. Yes. So remember, guys, it's 1.5 cups of water. Use a liquid measuring for the liquid. So make sure that it is not too hot, because if it's too hot, it will kill your yeast, and if it's too cold, it will not help it proof. So put your water there. I'm going to add I'm going to add a teaspoon of honey, and I'm just going to add it by eye. And I'm using raw honey. Okay? That's about right. What that's what's going to do is going to have the yeast activate. This is a very forgiving dough, so you don't have to wait for the yeast to activate or anything. Just, add everything in there. Let's add a little bit more. There. And remember, I said I was going to cut the salt. It calls for 2 teaspoons of salt, but I'm going to just add 1 and a little bit more. Because when you have something that has sugar, you want to help the flavor pops out with their salt. All right, I got my in there, and I'm going to it calls for 3¼ cups of flour. We're going to make a shaggy dough. This is a rustic bread, okay, guys? If I could, oh my goodness. That's half, that's 1/3, this is 1/4, okay. Let's start adding in. When you measure your flour, don't just take a cup of flour like this with the lump on it, because then you don't know you actually measuring right. Make sure that you measure your flour right. Sure your cup is like that exactly. All right, so we're going to add, how much did I say? 3¼ cup. This is my first time making this recipe, so like I say, I'm going to show you if it's a success or not. 2. And I'm using gold medal all-purpose flour. And this is not an expensive video. That was 3, right? Yep. And 1/4 cup. All right. And let's mix everything together. This is what you call a shaggy dough right here. You still can see flour. Let's grab my bowl. I will show you now in a minute what I mean by a shaggy dough. See, you could still see the flour right there. So what we're going to do now is we are going to cover it and let it rise. This is an easy recipe, but it's not quick. Usually it takes from 6 to 8 hours, depending, or more. But we're going to make this proof in a matter of 25 to 30 minutes. What you gotta do is preheat your oven, preheat it warm, and then you're going to put your dough in there and make sure you turn off your oven and leave your dough in there. It needs to be in a warm place for it to rise. So I'll bring you back when I'm starting to make the cake. Guys, in this recipe, I am not gonna make myself complicated. I want a marble cake because that's what my husband requested. He loves his cake. Guys, so what you do is use I'm telling you, never fails, right? She barks when I'm recording. So follow your instructions in your box. Simple, your water, your oil, your 3 eggs, and then when you want a marble cake, take some batter to the side and add some non-sweet baking cocoa. Mix it together and put it back in there. But in my situation, when I take the batter to the side to add the cocoa, I'm going to add almond extra. So you will have 2 flavors. They are very good together and delicious. So I'm going to make my cake together. I'm going to be using an 8 by 3. I'm only going to make 1 cake, and I will be letting it cool down. And for easy cutting, you know, when you want to have a filling on the center, what you do is when it cools down, put it in your freezer. Make sure not to completely freeze, but make sure it's nice and cold, and then you cut it in half and you will have a double layer cake. That's how people do it at the bakery. That's how we used to do it when I used to manage the kitchen where I used to work. And you could use two pans, but if you don't have two pans, I'm giving you the easy way out. You don't have to go buy another pan. Just make sure that you have your cake nice and cold. You put it in your freezer for like 15-20 minutes. When it's nice and a little hard, just cut it, and you will have your double layer to put whatever filling you want in your center. I'm telling you guys, it never ends. Look at how alert they are. Look, because they're keeping an eye on the door to see if anybody dares to walk through that door. Yep. The big one is my service dog, and the little one is the alarm. I'm telling you, if she moves, that's when he'll jump. All right, I poured some of the batter already on the mold. So here I'm going to add, this is a half a teaspoon in there. And I'm going to be adding some almond extra. Just the cap. And we're going to stir. Actually, I'm going to add more chocolate. I want it to look chocolatey. If you know what I mean. Yes. Let's use a spatula and scrape the mold. It smells so good. I love the smell of almond extra. This don't look as chocolate as I wanted. So add as much chocolate as you know you're gonna have a chocolate cake. Looks like. Okay, I think this is better. Yep. Let's see if it tastes like almond. Perfect. Oh yes. Oh yes. So now, meanwhile, I have my oven preheating at 360 degrees. So you don't have to make your life so complicated to do a marble cake. Now, if I am doing it from scratch, yes, I will use 2 different bowls and, you know, different recipe. But this is as easy as pie. So take something and, you know, swirl around. And that's it. And that's it. So I took my bread out of the oven, and I got it proofing on top of the stove, because when the oven is on, the top of the stove is warm. So we're going to put this in the oven into baked. What is on the bottom of this? I'm telling you guys. I don't know about you, but I love baking, but I make such a mess. Anyways, so in the oven we go, and I will see you when that cake is done. All right. And by the way, in this video, you're going to have a secret word. And the secret word is, it's coming up. I told you guys, this dough is very forgiving. This is what it looks like. It's already have double its size. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it out of the bowl, and knead it together. And then we're going to put it to rice again. I forgot that I needed this. I'm drinking coffee as well, guys. So we're going to put a little bit of flour here. And there you have it. The mess of baking. The flour went all over me. Anyways, this video is a goofy video. So we're going to bring the edge together. The gluten is already basically have activated. Guys, your dough looks like this. You do not want it, you don't want to add any more liquid. This is the way it's supposed to look. Okay, so bring your edges in, bring them in, bring them in. So we're making a rustic bread. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to put it right back into the bowl. Okay, we want to put it back into the bowl and let it rise again. Okay, so I'm going to put it right back on top of my stove because, like I told you guys, I am baking, so the top of the stove gets hot and that'll help your bread proof. And it's best if you use Reynolds wrap to cover your bowl because it'll keep the heat inside the bowl compared to the towel. Even though I do have the towels over it, I'll show you over here. Oh, you guys could see me there. So I got 2 towels and I just leave it there. Just let it keep proofing. The cake is in the oven. Gonna wash my hand, clean my counter, and bring it back. Oh, and by the way, we are going to bake this bread inside one of my pots, so it'll be nice and round. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to grease this pot with butter when it's time to bake it. Or actually, no, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use parchment paper, and we're going to bake it there. And let's see how my artisan bread, rustic artisan bread comes out. And the word for this video is almond extra. Okay, almond extra. Well, guys, in this video you're going to see more than a cake and a bread. I'm also making some meat for when my husband comes home. We had some leftover rice, but the meat was gone, so we're going to have, well, he's going to have some rice. I'm going to have, he took me out to dinner yesterday for my birthday, and I had some pasta Alfredo with shrimp and chicken. Oh, it was so good. So I'm chopping my homegrown oregano, and this is cilantro. So yeah, guys, took me out for dinner. I love my gift. I got some fresh flowers. I got chocolates for my daughter, nail polishes and stuff like that. But yeah, I got beautiful gift and I love it. You know what is a girl's best friend? And they sparkle. One of those. Yep. So I'm chopping some onions. Pandora is running a great sale. And since he knows what I like, he went to Pandora. So I'm gonna chop some. And the meat that I'm making is basically beef. So basically I'm making like a little simple beef stew without carrots. I don't have any carrots, and I am not going to the supermarket. I don't know why you are over here begging. I'm telling you guys, my little one, she's a beggar. She eats everything and anything. But my service dog, he's over there sitting. And she's trained. She's just a chihuahua. I don't know. They're like that. So that's there. So I'm going to let this here sit there. I'm going to be chopping up the meat in a minute. So, because yes, guys, the meat was frozen. It's not a big deal. Just 2 steaks there. And we're going to chop it and make a little bit of beef too for my husband. So I have some yellow rice frozen, which I'm going to take out and heat it up. And that's going to be his meal. So let's see what the dough looks like. I'm telling you guys, see, this dough is very forgiving. Very forgiving. So just leave it there. I'm going to chop the meat and put everything in there and just let it cook. Okay, guys, one of the things that I recommend you to do is if you have a Dutch oven for your bread. I don't have a Dutch oven, but since you guys know that I cook with the aluminum and metal pans, so I'm going to use one of my rice pots, the medium-sized one, and heat it up because your dough is warm and it's proof, and you don't want to put it to a cold pot. There is going to shock the process. So my dough is looking beautifully there. So I'm going to take it out of here and put it on my pan. I'm heating it up, and I'm going to put the dough there. Leave it there until my cake is done. And when my cake is done, I'm gonna pop it in the oven and see what our bread looks like. And remember, guys, I have rushed this dough. I've been making you have seen whatever minutes you see on this video is times maybe 10 extra minutes. So yeah, and in that time I got my husband's meat for his meal cooking here. I'm making a little bit of beef stew for him, the bread and the cake. So guys, these are simple recipes, and I started cooking at 11 o'clock and it's 11:59 in the afternoon. I started cooking at 11 o'clock in the morning, so it's 11:59 right now. And look, my dough in less than an hour is proof. So after that, I'm going to pop it in the oven. Let me get my pan because I want to be able to put my bread in there. Yep, it's nice and warm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a piece of parchment paper. And this is where I'm going to pop my dough. And I'm going to pop it in here, and then I'm going to let it ride for another 20 minutes or so until my cake once my cake comes out of the oven, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, in this part you see me blending. I had a half of an 8-ounce block of cream cheese. So that is softened. And I have 3 teaspoons of butter, softened as well, which I combine here. Now I'm going to add powdered sugar. We're going to add powdered sugar. And remember, on my cake, I'll bring you back, guys. I can't find my powdered sugar. Hold on. I added 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. you know, the ones that we used to eat. I didn't use my measuring one. And I added 1 cupful of almond extra. So we're gonna combine that together, and that's going to be my filling. I don't want to have a big, I don't want to have a lot of stuff in the center of the cake, because this is gonna be a small white cake, but it's gonna be a little bit tall. So we're going to mix this combine, and then I'm going to make the whipped topping frosting, which is going to be very simple, just the whipped topping and the powdered sugar. That's it. We're not gonna make it all fancy. This is everyday recipes that I am sharing with you, guys. I got my bread here. My bread is almost done to go into the oven. Oh yes, guys, this bread is going to be beautiful. So look at how the top is splitting. Let me see if I could show you guys. I'm gonna show you. The top is splitting by itself, which I love that. You guys see it right there? That's what it's going to look like when I, ooh, child. This is what I want, guys, with a nice, actually, I'm going to be having it with my leftover pasta. So the cake is still in the oven, so I have the plate here on the top. And the reason why I have it on the stove in the back is because, remember, I'm using my oven. Steam comes out through here. So that heats the pan or the bowl, wherever you have it. And that steam, that heat, it helps it proof and proof faster. So you don't have to have all that period of waiting of 6-7 hours. Some people have to even wait 24 hours. I have seen videos. Guys, you gotta work smarter, not harder. Making bread, it should be fun. It should not be a you know, if I have to wait 24 hours for a loaf of bread, I'm not gonna want to eat it after that, because I worked so hard for it that I'm gonna want to just contemplate it. No, I want to enjoy what I make. So the meat is still going. The cake is already getting nice and golden brown on the top, so we're gonna be taking it out. Let me finish the center frosting, and we're coming right back. All right, guys, there is my bread. I'm going to brush it with some butter. Make sure you use real butter when you're brushing your bread. I mean, you could use whatever. I mean, you don't have to brush it, but I'm going to brush it. So I don't know if I brush it, it's gonna be crispy or not. It's only one way to find out, right? Maybe I brush half. How about that? Let's brush half, yeah. It's only one way to find out, guys. And even though my bread is cracked a little bit there, split a little bit, I'm going to grab my cooking blade, which I did took out. You get, I mean, it's a utility blade, but I use it for cooking. You get them at the Dollar Tree. So let's see, what do I... to do whatever design you want, guys. You don't have to. It's your bread. You design it however you like. So there it is. My bread is ready to go into the oven. Make sure you clean your blade. There's nothing in it. So let's get the cake out of the oven and put the bread, put up the temperature at 400 degrees and bake between 35 and 40 minutes. So let me get my cake out of the oven. I know some people stick a toothpick in it to make sure it's done, but I don't do that because you could tell it's done. Just your finger is done. All right, guys. Here goes nothing. Wish me luck with the bread. The oven it goes. 400 degrees, whereas I needed to bring it up another 5 degrees, and I see you in 25-30 minutes. Here is the cake, nice and beautiful. It's hot. You guys can see the steam, I believe. Not yet. Anyways, I just molded it. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it on top of my counter for 5 to 10 minutes, and from there I'm going to put it in my refrigerator to completely cool, and that will take maybe like 15 minutes and then 5 minutes in the freezer, so I'm able to cut it in half. And meanwhile, I got my center frosting. I'm going to work on my whipped topping, which is going to be the whipped topping, the powdered sugar, and that's it. And I'm making a very light coating for frosting. I'm not adding a lot of frosting. We want to make sure we just taste the cake. So guys, I'll bring you back. And the cake is in the oven. Not the cake. The bread is in the oven. Oh yes, it's looking nice. All right, guys, I'll bring you back. All right, guys, let's check the bread. Well, it is done. It looks a little bit of, oh yeah. The cake is cold enough that I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to put my bread here. Can you guys see what I'm, no, you guys cannot see what I'm doing. All right, let's move you guys. Sorry for the movement. Yeah, guys, this is a very interesting video, huh? Let's not forget to put it in the oven. Whew. Let's show you the bottom of my bread. Remember, it just came out of, look at that, guys. It smells wonderful. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it cool down for like 10-15 minutes before I cut a piece and give it a taste test. Meanwhile, that's hot. Let's that cool down. Meanwhile, I'm going to take my cake, cut it in half. Oh, you guys are not seeing. It's dry, but I'm telling you. Meanwhile, I'm going to take my cake, cut it in half, and start getting ready to frost it. So we got clean hands. Let's take a and try to cut evenly, all right, guys? Here you have it. Still warm a little bit, but good enough to cut. So let me get the frosting that I'm going to add in the center. There it is. Only I made enough for the center because I don't want a lot of it. And then this is the cream cheese, butter, almond extra, and powdered sugar. And then this is the whipped topping for the outside, which is powdered sugar and whipped topping. That's it. All right, guys. So now we're just going to put it together. That's it. And now we're just going to frost the outside. In my house, I basically make a cake every 8 days. My husband has a very extreme sweet tooth, and no, guys, he doesn't have any diabetes, any problems with his blood sugar. He just has a very sweet tooth. All right, so I'm going to finish frosting this cake, and we're going to move on to give the bread a taste test. Hopefully it came out good. It's my first time making it, guys. All right, guys, we are almost at the end of the video. And guys, if you are like me, make sure if you want to try your bread nice and hot. I don't know what's in this knife, but just wipe it. Make sure that you use a serrated, with the teeth to cut bread. If you use a knife like this, it's going to make your bread flat. Oh, I cannot even talk. You guys hear that? So let's cut a little piece. It feels soft. Let's cut a piece, and now that it's good enough to handle, this is what it looks like. I think it looks beautiful. It smells wonderful. So let's cut a little piece. I am a lefty, so I can't remember which part that I put butter. I think I put butter on this part. Yep, because I cut it like this. So let me cut a little piece. Oh, yes. I didn't want to cut too deep because I don't have my cutting board underneath. Nice, and I don't know if you guys can see the steam still coming out of it, but oh, it smells wonderful. This is what it looks like. Nice and soft. I don't want to squeeze it too much because I don't want to make it flat. It's still hot inside. So I'm using Crunchy Crock. I do have butter, but I want Crunchy Crock. I want the old-fashioned flavor. And yes, I am adding a lot. I work hard for this bread. Just wait a few minutes. Guys, there's what it looks like. First bite. Here you go. Bon appetit. So let's give it a try. This is a keep. You know how they say something is so good they make you want to slap your mama? Yeah. You could taste a little bit of the sweetness of the raw honey that I use. Guys, it's just wonderful. I hope you utilize this recipe and enjoy it. Mm. So, here we are. Cake, bread, and beef. Beef too for my husband's meal. So guys, let me leave it like I always say. Let me bring you guys close. Let me leave it like I always say. Be kind to one another. Don't forget to smile. Overall, stay safe, stay healthy. And remember, guys, God loves you. And Debbie also loves you too. It will be into the next one. Bon appetit, guys, at whatever time you see in this video. Bye-bye, my friends.